Welcome to the City of Miami Beach Commission Chambers. We're glad to have you with us today. If you require ADA assistance or accommodations, please notify the city clerk or any staff member, and we will be happy to assist you. As a courtesy to everyone present, please silence all cell phones and electronic devices at this time. Lobbyist disclosure reminder. If you are a lobbyist appearing before the City Commission or any city board, you must have registered with the city clerk prior to participating. If you have not yet registered, please do so immediately. Presentation reminder. If you submitted a presentation within the 24 hours prior to the start of today's meeting, please check the computer located at the podium to ensure your file is properly loaded. When the floor opens for public comment, please step up to the podium, speak clearly into the microphone, and begin by stating your name and address for the record. How to participate in public meetings via Zoom. Once you have joined the Zoom meeting, go to the bottom panel and click on the raise hand icon to notify the meeting host that you would like to speak. As soon as the host grants you permission to speak, a dialog box will pop up on your screen with two options. Select the unmute button to begin speaking. After you finish speaking, mute your microphone and click on the lower hand icon. If you are joining Zoom via phone, tap the keypad icon and press star 9 to notify the meeting host that you have raised your hand to speak. A voice operator will prompt you to unmute your microphone by pressing star 6. Once unmuted, you may begin speaking. After you finish sharing your comments, be sure to press star 9 to lower your hand and star 6 to mute yourself. We kindly ask everyone to conduct themselves in a respectful and professional manner throughout today's meeting. Thank you for your cooperation, and thank you for participating in your local government here in the City of Miami Beach.
Please take your seats. The meeting is about to begin. Remember to speak into the microphone, as this meeting is being recorded for public record. Please stand by. We are going on air in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Friday, October 17th Board of Adjustment meeting here at City Hall. I hope everybody is doing well. Let's go ahead and get started. We have 6 of 7, but let's go ahead and take formal attendance, Mr. Madden, so we have it for the record.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. I'll do a roll call. Mr. Goldberg?
Here.
Mr. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Krennic is absent. Ms. Mermelli?
Here.
Mr. Nagler?
Present.
Ms. Silverman?
Here.
Mr. Silvers?
Here.
We do have a quorum with 6 of 7 members present.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. City Attorney, can you please give the instructions for those who wish to participate via Zoom, and then if there's any updates, and go ahead and proceed with the swearing in of the public, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you and good morning all. Today's meeting of the Board of Adjustment has been scheduled in a hybrid format with a quorum of the board physically present in the commission chambers located at 1700 Convention Center Drive, and applicants, staff, and members of the public appearing either in person or virtually via the Zoom platform. In order to participate in today's meeting, those wishing to participate via the Zoom platform may dial 888-853-5257 and enter the webinar ID, which is 828-6961-5309, or log into the Zoom app and enter the webinar ID, which again is 828-6961-5309. Any individual wishing to speak on an item must click the raise hand icon if they are using the Zoom app, or dial star 9 if they are participating by phone. Before I swear in those who are testifying today, I'm going to read into the record the city's notice regarding lobbyist registration. If you are appearing on behalf of a business, a corporation, or another person, you need to register as a lobbyist with the city clerk's office. If you haven't registered yet, you should register before you speak to the board. You do not have to register as a lobbyist if you are speaking only on your behalf and not any other party, or if you are testifying as an expert witness providing only scientific, technical, or other specialized information or testimony in this public meeting, or if you are appearing as a representative of a neighborhood association without any compensation or reimbursement for your appearance to support either the item or oppose the item. Expert witnesses and representatives of neighborhood associations shall, prior to appearing, disclose in writing to the city clerk their name, address, and the principal on whose behalf they are communicating. If you are an architect, attorney, or employee representing an applicant or an objector, you must register as a lobbyist. These rules apply whether you are appearing in favor of or against an item, or encouraging or arguing against its passage, defeat, modification, or continuance. There's no updates, Mr. Chair, so with that, I'll swear in members of the public. For those that will be testifying today, if you can please stand and raise your right hand. Okay, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll be giving in this proceeding is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you. Please be seated. And for those members of the public that will be appearing virtually, I'll be swearing you in one by one before you address the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Mr. Madden, do we have any discussion items?
We have no discussion items today.
Okay, board, in your package that was sent out to you, you had the minutes from our September 12th meeting. Hopefully you had a chance to take a look at those. If there's no changes and everything looks good.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Okay, motion by Mr. Davis, second by Mr. Silvers. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, that passes. Thank you so much. Okay, so next we have requests for continuance and withdrawals, and we actually do have 4 that are on our agenda. So, Mr. Madden, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and tee up the first one, which will be ZBA 22-0143, 125-153 Collins Avenue.
Okay, so this is an appeal. It's been on the agenda for quite some time, originally dating back to November 1st, 2024. The applicants are still under discussion and might be able to, the appellants are still discussing the item, and they might be able to work this out privately. So as a result, they have requested that the item be continued to the February 6th, 2026 meeting.
Okay, so with that being said, we need a motion to approve the continuance of that item.
Move it.
Okay, motion by Mr. Nagler, hire a second. Second by Ms. Marmelli, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next continuance request is ZBA 24-0161, 605 Lincoln Road, Unit 800RF. Mr. Madden?
Again, this is another appeal that's on the agenda. This one has been on the agenda since October of 2024. The applicants have also, they're intending to work out the issue on their own. The appellants are intending to work out the issue on their own, and they as well have requested that the item be continued, and also to the February 6th, 2026 meeting.
Okay, entertain any motions? Okay, motion by Ms.
Chair.
Silverman. You want to be recognized? Yes, state your name, please.
Good morning, Mickey Marrero, Burke Alberdell, Fernandez, Larkin, and Tappan, 200 South Skin Boulevard. We actually represent the condominium association where this unit is a member. And as Raul mentioned, there is a dispute, there's multiple disputes. This case is tied to a special magistrate case that's also on the property in addition to litigation between the parties. I'm not here to object to today's continuance, but this application was filed in May of 2024. It was first on the agenda October of 2024. It's now over a year. So if it's continued one more time, we understand, but it's really, we need resolution here. So we would ask that this be the last continuance so we can get this resolved. Thank you.
Okay, I'll have to ask staff or city attorney, can we entertain a motion for that? Or what's proper protocol for continuances? Is there a limit on how many can be requested?
No, there's no limit. There's just questions of republication and the republication costs. I believe this has already been published once or twice already. So it would be up to that. And yeah, so unfortunately it has to be February because of scheduling. I believe that the planning director is out in November and December. So this would based on the schedule, and I'll let Rogelio comment on that. But no, to answer your question, there's no limit on the continuances, as this is an appeal.
Okay.
And that's correct, yeah.
All right, so, noted for the record, but we'll go ahead and continue. So the next continuance request we have is, oh, I'm sorry, yeah. See, my vice chair, that's why you're vice chair. Any motion, entertain a motion to approve that continuance?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Davis first, second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Silvers, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, that passes. Okay, our third variance request is going to be, oops, hang on a second. ZBA 25-0189, 1631 West 28th Street. Mr. Madden?
This is a request for a variance for a rear yard setback in relation to a paddle court. The applicant is attempting to work with neighbors who have concerns with the proposed variance. And as a result, the applicant has requested that the item be continued to the November meeting. That would be the November 7th, 2025 meeting. However, the residents have indicated they would prefer that the item be continued to the December meeting, but I leave that up to the board and the applicants if they have any concerns with that.
So let me give you a little bit more background. I always do a pre-agenda review call for Hilo, and we went over this. And I've been on this board 6 years. You guys are gonna get ready to me in December. I'm termed out. So, and in the 6 years I've been here, I've never seen an item get more negative responses, to be honest with you, from the neighbors. One thing we always ask when someone brings something to the board is, how do the neighbors feel about it, right? And when we don't have letters of support, we kind of wondered what's going on. But in this case, and you all got the same letters I did, enormous amount of feedback. So I know there's people and residents that made plans thinking this was going to be heard today, to be here, that can't be here for next month's meeting. So I'd like, as a chair, to make an exception, which we normally don't have to do, and I'll open up to council in a minute, to open this to public comment for some of the residents that have rearranged their schedules to be here today that can't be here until next month to present, even though we're not hearing the item. And I want to make sure everyone understands, we're not going to hear the item, but and we have cleared this through legal. We had the discussion, and there's no issue procedurally with us making that exception.
This was noticed as a public hearing, so the public did anticipate that they would be here today. For those members that can't be here next month, we do offer the hybrid meeting so that they can certainly attend virtually. All of the objections are in your packet, so you can all see them, but I believe some of them want to just comment on the continuance, not necessarily the merits of the case.
So just before I hand it over to you to recognize you, may I ask by hands what residents are here that would like to speak on this item that can't come next month? Okay, just two? Okay, just one second. I'll go ahead and recognize you. You are?
Kendrick Meek Jr., attorney on behalf of the applicant. My address is 3800 Northeast First Avenue. We would just ask that the board continue this item to the November 7th hearing. I understand that there are a couple of neighbors here that won't be able to be at that hearing, but they are able to participate by Zoom, as is routinely allowed by this board, and are also represented by counsel who's here today, and if I remember correctly, can be here for the November 7th hearing. And we all know that December hearings are often canceled due to holiday travel, time with family, and believe me, my client does not want to compete with that. So with all that said, I would just ask that this board continues to November 7th, allow anyone that can't be here to participate via Zoom, and give my client an opportunity to be heard sometime this year, hopefully.
Okay, thank you. Again, just to be clear, before I open up the public comment, we are not hearing this item today. I'm just opening up the public comment for the two residents that are here that are not able to be here next month. Do you guys have any questions on that before I do that? Mr. Nagler?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The public comments that we hear today, are those allowed to be taken into consideration when we do hear the item in a month from now or 2 months from now? Are they considered to be part of that future meeting, so to speak?
I think the purpose of today's opening this up to the public is to address the issue of the continuance. Certainly, their information is in your packet. You can, listen to it today. I'm not sure what they're going to be saying about the item, but no, it's not an opened hearing and continued, so it's not really the evidence in the record yet. This is, again, limited to the issue of the continuance. They do have counsel, as counsel did indicate. They can appear virtually if they so choose, and they can file any supplemental response as the packet. But no, it's not opened and continued. This is just on the issue of the continuance.
Thank you so much. Understood.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Any other questions from the board? Okay, again, we are only going to open up, I'm going to open up the public comment. We're just going to listen to the comments. There's not going to be any Q&A. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and open up the public comment and ask anybody, any residents that'd like to come up. I'll give you, since there's only two of you, I was going to give two, but I'll give you 3 minutes. Please state your name and address. Yeah, please start.
Good morning. My name is Robert Hertzberg, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I live at 1620 Northview Drive, Miami Beach, Florida. My property directly abuts the property asking for the application. We were ready to go today, but we learned that the applicant asked for a continuance, and our lawyer asked us, and we said, sure. We have no problem. Anybody needs a continuance, fine. Except we said, several of us who are most affected, the closest property owners, are out of the state on long pre-planned travel. And I would personally really appreciate the board moving this to December so that I have the ability to speak to you directly and personally about my concerns. We did have an initial meeting with the applicant's counsel and other people. There was discussion. Hopefully that discussion will turn into something fruitful. But if it doesn't, we and my next door neighbor would like to address the board directly and not Zoom in a hotel room somewhere else. There's no prejudice, I think, in extending it an additional 3 weeks to the applicant. There would be to us who wouldn't have the ability to speak to you directly. So we would just ask, we had no problem. We were ready to go today. We had an expert witness ready to go. He filed his stuff, but they asked for a continuance. We said, fine. But we did say in our response, please make it conditioned upon making it on the December meeting. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hertzberg.
Thank you all.
Next, please. State your name and address.
My name is Daniel Morel. I live on 2830 Lucerne Avenue, which is, to make a quick picture, 12 feet from where the paddle court is being considered to be built, and 40 feet from my bedroom pillow. So I'm greatly interested in that issue, as well as 15, as you mentioned earlier, note from the resident. It is a critical issue for the status of our island, our neighborhood. So again, as Robert said, and we're just neighbor, the applicant has asked for a continuance. We have no issue with that continuance. We will be talking to them about remedies on what they can do, but I would ask graciously from the board to consider a further extension to the meeting in December. As Robert said, there's little prejudice. We saw applications that are going for a year. We hope we don't go for a year, but it would seem that it would create a fair and even playing field if we can represent ourselves in person. Again, we are ready to present today. We have an expert who is currently on video, ready to present. We agree to the continuance, but please, I must ask you graciously to extend the delay until December. Board member, thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any residents on Zoom? Again, I'm only entertaining residents.
We have no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay. So that being said, so I just want to make sure the board understands, again, we're not going to get into a Q&A. This continuance request is from the applicant, requesting that it be continued to November 7th, 2025. So at this point, I'll ask if there's any motions to entertain or questions for staff. Go ahead.
If I want to move to have the item heard in the December meeting, do I have to make a motion to that, or do we have to deny this motion first and then go to the?
Procedurally, the request now is a motion to continue for November. So we'd need a motion, a second, and a vote. If the vote fails for whatever reason, then there can be a second motion.
So,
But is that allowed? Are we allowed to do that, or that has to come from the applicant?
Well, the applicant has requested, council stood up and requested
For one continuance.
to November.
to November.
To November.
So the motion now that should be addressed first is whether or not a motion to continue to November, I need a first and a second and a vote. If that fails, then it would be, the motion would be to continue it to December. Because the applicant, you have to understand, the applicant is asking for November. The residents are asking for December.
I think what
So
you
the
got,
applicant controls,
right, and that's the conversation we had yesterday, when we were on a call, me and Rogelio and city attorney, is, we did not have to open up the public comment, did not have to allow the residents to come up and speak. So you almost have to make like that didn't happen, and what's before you. We were doing that as a courtesy, again, because of all the feedback that we got, and it was more of an accommodation, if that's fair to say, because it is a public notice meeting, and they were ready to come and were ready to present today, thinking it was going to be heard today. If there was 10 residents here, I would allow 10 residents to come up here and speak. So that's a discussion that I had with staff, and we made sure that procedurally it was okay to do that and allow it. But you have a motion and you have an applicant that really controls the request for what they want to do and what they're asking us to do. When you have public comment, you can't take public comment and do what someone from the public is asking you to do. They can state what they want you to do, but I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Attorney, no one here on the dais can say, hey, I agree, let's defer it till December. If I said that right, Mr. City Attorney? I want to make sure. Yeah, we talked about this
Yes, that's correct,
extensively
Mr.
yesterday.
Chair.
So I want to make sure everybody understands that.
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Nagler, you look a little bit puzzled.
But Jan was first.
Because you said that you let them speak, but we have to pretend we didn't hear it?
No, and let me rephrase that and think, I'm sorry, no. Almost like it's an accommodation, okay? For those who've been up here on this board, we never opened it to public comment. I wanted to accommodate the residents that couldn't be here to state how they felt on this, because they were ready to go forward with this, and then the applicant requested a continuance. So
But
yes,
when we vote on
strike
the-
that from the record.
Okay, but when we vote on the continuance for November, just for that at this point, we can take into consideration what the residents said before us
that would be your no vote.
in considering the
Correct.
November date, and then I presume that if we vote for it, great. If we vote against it, then you're going to ask for December, right? So that's how that gets done? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, they may not be asking for it, but then there's a pending motion to continue.
Well, would it be
So it would be
appropriate
the date.
for council to come up and formally, that's a great question, Ms. Silverman. Can you answer Ms. Silverman's question on that? If it's not approved, then what would you do?
Well, I would just add that, again, we would request November 7th. Again, we're working with the other neighbors and their council to try to find some kind of amicable resolution. We think we can do that before the November 7th hearing. And of course, if, we don't come to some kind of resolution, we'll ask for another continuance to a date certain. So that's what I would add. But again, the request is to have a hearing on November 7th.
All right, so with that being said, I think, okay, one more comment, and then we'll see if there's a motion on the floor.
Has anything been given to us why the applicant wouldn't be available for the December meeting? Should we choose?
I believe council had indicated that December is a tough time of the year with people scheduling. We may not have a quorum. A lot of times in the past, December hearings have gotten canceled. I don't know what your schedules are, but that's why their ask is not to go into December at this point.
So nothing specific, just vague assertions of things that could or may happen, theoretically.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in December,
Me either.
I'm speaking from
other
experience.
than Mr. Goldberg's last meeting.
But yeah, well, it is. But
Unless he's a holder.
If I can just say one more thing, again, the purpose why I was okay opening to public comment was allowing any residents that couldn't make it to the November meeting to come and state how they felt, which you did, and it's part of the record. So they were here, they stated it, it's on the record. So if if it was to be approved and come to us in our November meeting, you know how these residents that are here feel. The other residents that are able to come to November 7th meeting will be here. There'll be additional residents, I'm sure, who will speak and say how they feel. So that's why I decided, to make this exception and do this, to allow any residents that couldn't make the November meeting to come and speak this morning. You want to be recognized? Your name, sir?
Yes, my name is Tucker Gibbs. Law office is at 3835 Utopia Court in Miami. I am here representing the Mr. Hertzberg, and what I'd like to remind you all, they didn't speak to the merits at this issue. So they should not be precluded from speaking on the merits at the hearing in December, we hope. And that's where we stand. I just want to be sure that everybody understands that I think they still have a right to speak on the merits.
Oh, of course,
okay.
absolutely. Whether or not it goes to November or December, yeah, they can absolutely come back and speak, absolutely, positively.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure about that, and also remind you all that this issue is incredibly important to them. They want to make a deal, we want to make it work, but my clients cannot appear, and they want to be able to appear in front of you live, and not on a blank screen by Zoom. They want you all to see them, and that's what they want. That's the only time they can do it is in December. So that's our position.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Gibbs. All right, any motions from the board?
I'll move to approve the motion for continuance.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Mr. Davis. Do I hear a second?
That would be to the November.
In November, as requested by the applicant.
That's all I can do.
As requested by the applicant. Do I hear a second?
So it fails for lack of a second.
Okay. Well, I don't think I can second, and I don't think I need to. Yeah, sure, of course, yeah. Okay, second by Ms. Silverman. All in favor on approving the continuance to November? Aye. All right. Okay, does not pass? Okay. At this point, do we call
Another
council?
motion, if there is another motion for the continuance to the December, if that's.
So we're entertaining any additional motions?
I'll motion for December.
Okay, we have a motion to move this to December.
What is the date of the December?
Okay, second by Ms. Marmelli. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes, so we'll see you in December,
Just for the record, that would be the December 12th meeting.
December 12th meeting. We'll see you in December. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay? Okay, we actually have one more request for a continuance, which wasn't going to be, but changed at the last minute. Mr. Madden, can you go ahead and tee up the ZBA 25-0191 1691 Michigan Avenue?
Yes, this is a request for a modification to a previously approved variance. It's for an alcoholic beverage establishment, and the board previously approved a variance for a distance separation requirement. The applicant is looking to modify their floor plan somewhat, and so they're requesting a modification. However, they're making some more changes, and they want to adjust the plan somewhat. So they're requesting that the application be moved to the November 7th meeting as well.
Okay, entertain any motions?
Move to approve the.
Okay, moved by Mr. Davis. Do I hear second? Second by Mr. Silvers. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That motion passes. Thank you, board. Okay, so we have two new applications. Let's start with the first one, ZBA 25-0175, 3443 North Meridian Avenue. Mr.
This-
Madden or Alejandro?
Yeah, this application has been filed requesting an after-the-fact variance to increase the maximum lot coverage in order to retain an enclosure of a terrace for an existing two-story home.
Okay, thank you, Alejandro. So as Alejandro stated in the title, this is a variance regarding an existing enclosure. The two-story home had a terrace in the rear yard. The applicant had enclosed that area. They did it without a building permit, so they're seeking an after-the-fact building permit in this case. The enclosure results in the home exceeding the lot coverage somewhat. It exceeds the lot coverage by 1.3%. That's 121 square feet. And so that exceeds the lot coverage. The lot coverage limit for a two-story home is 30%. By enclosing that space, a portion of that area would add to the lot coverage, and so now their lot coverage would be at 31.3%. Given that the applicant has already undertaken this expense, it was done to code, they are getting the appropriate building permits to legalize the structure, and given how small they are exceeding the the maximum lot coverage. Staff is not opposed to the granting of the variance. It is a practical difficulty, and so this does meet the practical difficulty standard, and staff recommends that the application be approved, subject to the conditions in the draft order.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any disclosures on the dais? No, okay, I believe we have, is somebody presenting? Hemenia? Would you like to come up to the podium, state your name, please, and 10 minutes be good to start? 10 minutes enough time for you to present?
We are requesting, like,
State your name, please, for the record.
Jimena Godoy from Volca LLC. We are trying to help the property owner to legalize this. As Mr. Madan say, we are asking to adjust the covered lot with 1.3%. We enclose this property just with windows, like fixed panels. And the property owner, like, for him it's complicated to go back to the original house. He's an old person and he's in like a wheelchair and he wants like more space. But we never, like he said that he never like touched the original house. The beams and the columns are existing. He only like installed like fixed panel windows. So we appreciate if we can help us to adjust this to 1.3%.
Okay, thank you. Let me go ahead and open up to public comment. Do we have anybody here on Zoom?
We have no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public comment and open up for questions from the board. Through the chair, anybody? Ms. Silverman, looks like you're
I have a
ready.
question. So you said that he put enclosures in, but the patio that existed in the back already?
Was an existing terrace.
And so there was no additional pour to the concrete of there, so
No.
that was there to begin
Yeah.
with? Okay, and then I have the same comment that I've had before, in that we need to find the contractor who did this and why he did it without a permit and, fine him or whatever, because we can't just allow people to, do stuff like this all the time within the beach without getting permits. If they need a permit, they need a permit. And if he's a licensed contractor, he needs to know that he needs to get a permit, or she.
So you're right, I actually brought that up last time it happened. And actually, maybe it would help, Mr. Madden, if you can explain how this arose. Like, I don't think you said it when you were reviewing the item.
They received a violation from the building department when the work was being undertaken. I'm not sure if the work was complete or if it happened shortly after the work was completed, but they did receive a violation, and so they're here as a result of a violation issued by the Code Enforcement Department.
This was made 20 years ago.
Okay, this construction was done?
The closure was made 20
So they did this
years
20, yeah,
ago.
that's what I wanted to come out. When was it done? Is that an accurate statement, Mr. Madden? 20 years ago this was done, or? We wouldn't know.
We wouldn't know.
We wouldn't know, they didn't pull a permit. We wouldn't know they didn't pull a permit.
Yeah,
So,
we are the company, we're gonna fix everything. We are able to change all the windows to be in code and compliance, like with NOAs, everything, and the client is like, accept to be in compliance to change
yeah, that's why,
everything.
that's why. Mr. Nagler?
And two questions.
Oh.
One, well, I guess we don't know the exact date because the permit wasn't pulled. Do we know, was this done under the purview of the current owner of the applicant, or was this done before they purchased the property? Did they like inherit this?
He was the owner at that time, the
Okay.
same owner at that time.
Same owner at the time did this. Okay, and then the other question is, does this, I don't do like I know like when you look at property, there's like different square footages for a property, like enclosed, not enclosed. Does this change if we approve this, does this change the legal, property appraiser square footage for living space, so to speak?
It should. The building department sends that information to the property appraiser, and the unit size should go up as a result of legalizing the structure.
Yeah, so it should increase their tax bill, yeah, because
Yeah,
they basically got away with not paying the additional taxes for the last 20 years that they've had. It's a good point.
And increase the home value, I think,
Yep.
in theory, because it's more, all right, just curious.
It's a good point.
We have some information. Can you let them know
Yeah,
on
when
the?
we found out about the violation, this is also in conjunction of mechanical equipment that was done in the property. So maybe when the building department inspectors went there, they saw everything and they issue the violation together.
So there was other work being done, mechanical equipment, so that would be air conditioning or something to that effect?
Yes, mechanical equipment and new plumbing. That's the description of the violation.
So when they went to inspect that work, then it was noticed that this enclosure had been put in place?
When I went by the house, just so you know, because I think I'm the only one that actually goes to the properties, it's a very hidden house. It's hard for me to find, actually. I know every street on Miami Beach is kind of off of 41st Street. It's down a dead-end street, a lot of trees, so it's kind of a hidden house. And I guess where it backs up to is probably over by the Roosevelt Theater or something like that on the backside. So, you know, I guess when it was done 20 years ago, it didn't really impact, or maybe the neighbors didn't even know it was being done, is the only thing that I can think of. And I guess if someone thinks they can get away with it, they try and get away with it. But I agree with Ms. Nagler, and I brought it up, you know, various times. We don't know who the contractor was 20 years ago because they didn't pull the permit. And you know, we can't assume that they're using I mean, it wouldn't be on record. It wouldn't be on record.
Permit or not.
Yeah.
He contacted us to help him to fix all of this as a contractor's company.
Yeah.
We submit everything, mechanical work, plumbing work, and new electrical work to be in compliance. We have like a process number right now running to the building department, and we are approved in all the disciplines. We only need to get approved this adjustment to get the final approval for signing.
When you say he's asked you to help him fix it, or is it just the
To get the
adjustment, or is
violation.
there other things that need to be changed within the structure?
No, but when you install like AC units, like individual one, like you need like electrical work, you need like to run pipes
Right.
to out the house. So we need to fix all that is not in compliance to be in compliance with the new code.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, any motions? Just go ahead and turn on your mic, sir.
Motion to move forward.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the after effect variance as requested by Ms. Marmelli. Do I hear a second? Second by Mr. Silvers. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And nays?
Nay.
Okay, one nay, the motion passes. Okay, thank you.
Nay
Thank you for
was
coming.
Mr. Davis?
Mr. Davis was a nay. Okay, next item is going to be ZBA 25-0190, 5011 Pine Tree Drive. Alejandro?
Yes, this application has been filed requesting a variance of the maximum height of mechanical and electrical equipment as an allowable yard encroachment to allow for the construction of a mechanical equipment and a generator on a parcel with an existing architecturally significant single-family home.
Okay, so this is a very interesting property. The property contains an architecturally significant home. Originally, that home was located towards the eastern portion of the lot fronting the Indian Creek Canal. The home, I believe last year, maybe the year before, the architecturally significant home was moved to the front of the property. They actually had a special event out there. It was fascinating to see them lifting a home on a tractor and moving it to the front. They're then constructing a new home towards the rear of the property where the old home once stood. The architecturally significant home was originally built in 1927. Because it's architecturally significant, the zoning code provides them with several incentives, including extra unit size, extra lot coverage, setback, allowances for setback encroachments, and a whole slew of other incentives. The applicant in this case is requesting a variance for the height limit for the height of mechanical equipment that's located in a required rear yard. The applicant will be placing a generator and other related electrical equipment to sustain the home in case of a power outage or any other issues. And that electrical equipment is 2 feet higher than what the code would allow that equipment to be when located in a side yard. Most of that equipment is located within the buildable area and can exceed that height. Only a fraction of it is located within the setback. I think maybe 2 or 3 feet of it are located within the setback. And given the scale of the home, the size of the property, the size of the equipment that is necessary to maintain that home, the applicant does have a practical difficulty and a hardship. And also the fact that they're maintaining an architecturally significant home. All these factors generate a hardship for the applicant, and staff is supportive of the granting of the variance.
Thank you. Any disclosures on the dais? Okay, with that, Mr. Riley? Is that you?
Yes.
I'll give you 10 minutes to present.
Yes.
Is that good?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, take it over. It's all
I
yours.
appreciate it very much. For the record, my name is Bill Riley. Office is located at 16343 Southwest 256th Street in the city of Homestead. So it was a trip to get here this morning with the traffic. But I'm very delighted to be here, and I'm very honored to be able to represent this applicant, Pine Tree Development LLC. The principal behind the entity is Mr. Russell Weiner. Mr. Russell Weiner is a self-made, very wealthy individual. He was the inventor and founder of Rockstar Energy Drink. When he came across this property several years ago, he really was fascinated by the Irving Collins history of the property. And even though he was allowed to demolish the home because it was not historic, even though it was part of the Collins estate, he elected not to demolish it and preserve it and reposition it with working with your professional staff to the front of the property. So it's highlighted along the street frontage. I wanted to thank your professional staff, your city attorney's office, for working with us throughout those years on that item as well as this application. This is for an emergency standby generator, be located just next to the recently moved architecturally significant home on the northwest corner of this property. It will be behind an existing masonry wall. It will be behind lush landscaping. Now, in addition to that, it has no impact with any neighbors. The reason for that is because the neighboring property to this site, you may have recalled it was owned by Richard Morello at one time. And it was a point of contention because it was a property that never was eligible to obtain a certificate of occupancy. And there was a lot of code activity associated with that property. Well, Mr. Weiner also was able to purchase that property just recently. He was able to demolish that, correct the code violations, and he also assembled the adjacent lot. So he is now the neighboring property owner to the subject property that we're talking about today. The only other neighbor is located across Pine Tree Drive, which, as everybody knows, is a 4-lane thoroughfare. And that neighboring property is not going to be impacted by the emergency standby generator, which you will not be able to see from the street frontage. But they also have lush landscaping on their property and canopy trees located there as well. Now, with that background, we have a full presentation. I'm joined today by our project architect, Christopher Fernandez. He has the plans prepared. We can go through the slides and provide you with a full presentation, or we're happy to rely upon staff's recommendation of approval, which we were able to earn through working with their department for a period of several months. It's whatever discretion of the board is, but if you would like me to turn it over to the architect, we can start the presentation of the slides.
Okay, yeah, normally once board, you okay? You want to see the presentation? You okay on time? You can do it in less than 6 minutes?
Yeah, I'll make it pretty quick.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so in this rendering, we omitted all the landscape just so you can see exactly. So right in front of us, if you can see my mouse, this is the Collins House, the historic project that the client moved to the front. The generator is actually located right behind here. There's this little notch out here, which is a dedication we gave to FP&L where they were putting a transformer. Our generator, this is our slide. Okay, it's multiple, I don't know if they have on my, the presentation's not on here.
I'm sorry. Are you?
No, my whole presentation's not here yet. Anyways, so behind, this is the transformer. The generator is actually located right behind that, and it's being screened, so from the front view, you're not gonna see anything. We're also gonna have a lot of lush landscaping in the front, so it's gonna completely mask it. One thing to note is this project is made of 2 blocks, 100 feet by 200 feet, like the property next to us. If you were to do the 20% setbacks on it, it's 12.5 feet, and we're currently 15 plus or minus feet. So if it was just a 100-foot wide lot, this wouldn't be a concern, but it is a 200-foot lot. And that's it for my presentation.
Short and sweet.
Yes, and with that, we will conclude the presentation. We're here to answer any questions. And again, I really want to thank your professional staff working with us on this property and the assemblage of the properties. It's been a very pleasant and rewarding endeavor. So thank you.
Thank you. Let me open up to public comment. Do we have anybody on Zoom? Mr. Madden?
We have no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, go ahead and close the public comment. Open it up to questions from the board. Nope. Okay, Mr. Silvers.
I'm going to try to get this clear. The adjacent property, the applicant purchases building.
So yes, sir. So you see that building that's on the slide? It's no longer there today. It was recently just demolished.
They knocked it
It's
down?
been knocked
Yeah,
down.
we knocked it down.
Completely
Yes, sir.
demolished. The gates are down this morning also in the
It was
front.
actually all illegal. They never had a permit. They built the whole. So the city's been trying to remove it for a while.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Okay, that was my only question.
Any other questions from the board? I'll just make a comment. It's a great house. The old house, I was in it years ago growing up as a kid. I think it was called Rossville at the time.
I didn't know that.
And I go by every day, on the way home from the office, and it's just amazing, the amount of money that Mr. Weiner is investing in that property to restore it and to move that building. It's just incredible.
Yes, sir.
Matter of fact, when I was doing the agenda review, Mr. Matt and I were talking, I said, you know who owns that house? And I told him, and I sent him, I Googled it and sent him, it's just amazing the amount of money. And I'm only saying that because the amount of money that this applicant is investing in the city of Miami Beach, and really doing the right thing, which we wish, everyone did the right thing, right?
I really appreciate you making those comments. A lot of people don't appreciate it or don't understand it, but it's a lot less expensive to tear it down.
Yep.
It's much more expensive to preserve it and to relocate it where people can actually see it and enjoy the historical architecture. So thank you for that.
But you guys weren't the reason why all that work was happening in the street in front of it for like the past year and a half, because that was.
No, so it was partially us,
was,
but
okay.
partially the county. So we had to connect, this was the last property that wasn't connected to water and sewer.
Oh, that's right.
And the Morello house that was there was never connected to water and sewer. So now we have a fully connected city to sanitary sewer. This was the last one, so.
Wow, that's a big project. I mean, that's a big project.
Yes, sir.
Wow. See, now they know what I'm talking about, because I dealt with it every day, but
Yes, sir. It's over now.
but it's all good. It's all good. So thank you so much. We really appreciate Mr. Weiner doing the right thing, and appreciate you coming in for the presentation.
I'm like 3 houses away. It was.
There you go. So, with that being said, any motions?
Move to approve.
Okay, moved by Mr. Davis to approve variance as requested. Second?
Second.
I'll give it to Ms. Silverman on the second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Again, thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Weiner, if he's watching, thank you for your investment in the city of Miami Beach. We
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much. Okay, our next meeting is going to be November 7th. Mr. Madden, can you give us kind of an idea? I know it's kind of a moving target now with these continuances, like what that meeting's going to look like as far as items.
We have 1, 2, 3. There should be 3 items on the agenda.
3 full items, new
items,
applications, no continuance.
That includes the continuances. So for new applications, we have one new application, and then we have 2 that were continued to the November meeting. So 3 total.
Okay. Any other questions, board? Good and welfare? Thank you so much for coming in. It was a good meeting. Appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day, everybody. Motion to close the meeting.